What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Market Omega back at it again with another weekly recap. I'll be going over the stocks from this week, stocks that had the right momentum. So without further ado, follow me. All right, so I'd like to start out with the SPY once again. As you guys can see, one second. Let me take out this data box here. Just a second. Okay, so as you guys can see, the SPY is approaching that all-time high level. I actually talked about this, in the last few videos. I've been making this a point to basically reiterate that I think that the SPY would possibly break all-time highs, if not within the next 2 weeks. Basically, if not by the end of this month of October, around the beginning of November, we should break this all-time high. So, Trump says basically he's favoring an even a bigger stimulus package than what the Democrats are offering right now. So, Trump wants a bigger stimulus package. Pelosi and Mnuchin are trying to come into an agreement. I think Pelosi wants 2.2 trillion, and Mnuchin, is kind of sticking around that 1.8. So they're still, a little bit apart from each other. And Trump says he wants something bigger. Now, I think the sentiment right now in the market is, it's reflecting a possible sweep by the Democrat Party. So, the Democrat will take over the House and the Senate and possibly the presidency. And, the reason why the market is going up is because, they're probably thinking, that could be good. If that were to happen, that could be good for the markets because that's going to remove the gridlock, from the House and the Senate like we have right now. And it'll make it easier for a stimulus to get passed. And, when the stimulus gets passed, businesses can grow, more people have access to funds in their pocket, and, the economy gets a boost. So I think that's what's happening right now. The market is reflecting that. So initially it was, there was this fear of a Democrat winning because, Democrats love the high taxes, and that's really not good for stocks and businesses. But now they're trying to, they're looking at this whole stimulus thing, getting passed. And, if the Democrats take over the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and it'll make it a lot easier to pass a stimulus, which could in turn help boost the economy. Okay, so that said, I'm still in my SPY calls. So I'm still holding, this is taking a while. So I'm still holding my SPY calls for November. So let's see, I think, where's that? This is 370. So I'm still holding my SPY calls from November. I think, hopefully this could pay out really nice. So once again, I think, in my opinion, I think the market breaks all-time high by the end of October, if not the first week of November. Within the first 14 days of November. All right. So this week I wasn't able to trade as much. I was had a lot of stuff to take care of, but I did trade a few days this week. So I'm just gonna give you guys a recap on some of the stocks that stood out throughout the week. So we'll start with MDLY. So MDLY, I think that was let's do 5 day. Let's see, maybe 5 day, 2 minute. All right. So MDLY, right? And pretty much with MDLY, I took this in pre-market. I basically took this in pre-market, and the first trade I took was let me try to condense this a little bit. So the first trade I took was a pattern. It was more of a, if you take a look at this, you can see it was more of like an inverse head and shoulder. Let me go down to a lower time frame. I think that'll make it a lot easier for you guys to see. All right, so it was right here. It was like an inverse head and shoulder pattern that I saw on the smaller time frame. So it's like right here, right? So, obviously it wasn't like a clean inverse head and shoulder, but all the same, I saw the pattern form, and I got long right here, somewhere around there, and basically, took it and scaled out, and I got like almost, I think it was like 60 cents off of this move, like the average from like scaling out. It was about 60 to 70 cents I got. And, it was a pretty good move. But then I started watching it when when it came closer to the market open. I was watching this thing, and, just looked really extended. Like it looked really extended heading into open, right? So, I started watching this, and there wasn't like a nice, decent pullback with a consolidation. It just kept going. So, my plan was to short this on a pop, and that's exactly what happened. We got the pop, I shorted it, and then I covered. I think I got in at like 268 or something. It was 269, and it flushed, and I covered some, and I covered about 3/4 of my position. Now, I ended up holding this into a halt. And, it wasn't by design. I didn't intend to hold it into a halt. I was just, cover 3/4. I was thinking this thing could flush below 2 and I could cover the rest. But then it got halted. And, I think this was a T. This wasn't like a volatility halt. This was halts pending news. So normally with halt pending news setups, you don't know when the stock is going to unhalt. Okay, you're just kind of like hoping that they unhalt that day. I mean, I've seen situations where a T12 halt will, go on for weeks, months, possibly, and just so happened that this unhalted about, it was about 4 or 5 hours later, and got unhalted, and then on the flush I covered some in the 140s or something. And that was it. That was a pretty good trade for me on NDLY. The other one was STAF. I took STAF on the 15th. Now, basically what I saw on STAF was a rounding bottom, right? So if you take a look right here, this was in pre-market. I took a STAF trade in pre-market, right? And, I was watching this, I saw the stock and the way it was trading. I kept watching it. It kept, forming like series of higher lows, and it formed this sort of like a rounding bottom right here. If you take a look, you can see it clearly, right here. So basically, I like patterns like this. I'm a bull bias trader, so I got long right there on this break. It tapped, came back again. I got long, and then I rode the wave basically. I got long right in the I think it was like 163, somewhere around there, and I basically rode it over 2 and just kind of scaled out, and that was the trade right there. I was actually, when this broke that pre-market level and consolidated, I actually thought that it was gonna go for round 2. I actually thought it had a possibility of going into like round 2 because there wasn't a lot of resistance around this area. But basically, it just popped up, consolidated, and flushed, and that was all she wrote. So, but I got I got that good entry in pre-market, and made the decent trade, and walked away from it. So today wasn't such a good day. So today, we had SGBX, SGBX running. Gapping up, we had ASLN, VVPR, that was gapping up as well. VVPR was gapping up. HTZ was gapping up. DPW was gapping up as well. Okay. So I was actually watching SGBX. That was like the one that I was trying to, I was hoping that it would form a certain pattern maybe or give us an entry. But I kept watching it, but it never resolved. So it just opened, popped, and fell. So left that alone. ASLN from the get-go. It just didn't form a nice pattern or give us an entry. It just opened and just faded off. Left that alone. Now, VVPR, I actually took a trade on VVPR, right? So I was watching VVPR, right? I wasn't really watching this around pre-market, but when market opened and it started popping, somebody had called it out in chat. So I pulled this up and I was watching. I was like, okay, well, this looks like it could get some legs. Why? Because I was watching this pattern right here, right? This looks like it's like a huge rounding bottom, right there. You see that? And then there was a pop, it pulled back. So I'm thinking, it had the possibility to continue onwards, right? Because you see these patterns a lot. These like huge, more like a cup and handle, basically. It's like a cup and handle formation, right? You see this? That's the handle. It break out of the handle, and then it goes up. So that's why I basically took a trade right there. I actually got in late. Hindsight, I was like, oh man, I missed my ideal entry, because my ideal entry would probably have been like right here or around 10 possibly. But I ended up getting in around this 1040 level because, I thought that it was going to consolidate and then, we can head higher. So I got long around the 1040s, right? But, popped up. It went to like, or where did it go to, like 1049 or something, like maybe like 10 cents, and then just came down, and then I stopped out. So, I lost money on this. I actually sized in too much on this trade. I thought that this was such a great pattern and this was going to break and we're going to have follow through and it's going to go up possibly to like 11s or 12s because, the last few days we actually had it run. We had a run around here. This was on the 19th. We had this run. It was a really decent run, multiple halts, right? So I'm thinking, if this breaks this level, we could easily test the 12, that 12 range. So I sized in thinking that we're going to get a follow through, but we did not. It just basically popped up and then came down and whew. So I stopped out on this candle right here, pretty much. So it was a huge loss. I was down a pretty penny on that. Not so much where it's like destroys my entire week, but it was for the I sized just too much. I shouldn't have done that. I was just getting greedy. I was like, well, if I take this one trade, make some money, and then I'm out of here. Because I got stuff to do. It's a Friday, and I just wanted to just have a one and done scenario. Okay, make the money and get out. But that was my mistake. I stopped out, and it was a pretty big loss. But along came KXIN. So KXIN, right? I wasn't really watching this, but this popped up the first time and got halted. And I was watching. I was like, okay, this kind of looks good. Why? Because this is more of like a consolidation. I think the last we had this run a few days ago, and it had broken out of the high of that previous 2 days, right? So this just looks like it looked like a nice little pattern, right? Pop, the pullback, and the follow through. So, I was watching this and I was like, well, I like this out of the halts. I'm going to get in on washes, and that's basically what my plan was. So, the stock on halted. We got a wash, a nice clean wash. I got long, filled in like the 260s, and basically scaled out on the way. Filled in. I got long around the 260s. Sold some in I think like the threes. Sold some in the three, like I think it was like 310, and then a pop. Sold some in the four. So this was pretty good. This was a pretty good, decent squeeze off of the halt. So that was that, man. Basically, I made back majority of the losses from this VVPR trade, but I'm still red on the day right now. Okay, so I'm still red on the day. I mean, not by a huge amount, by any means, but my green streak is cut short. It stops today. I've had a multi-month green streak. So I took this loss. I should have known better not to size not to size up on Fridays. I mean, Fridays are just not the best days to size up. Trust me, you don't really want to size up on Fridays. There's a lot of times there's not enough volume. We don't have as many plays. Why? Because people, they've taken off for the weekend. They're on vacation or something. Or some people just choose not to trade on Fridays. So you don't have as much momentum on Fridays as you would other days of the week. So I should have known that. Just wasn't really thinking straight, and it happens. So that's that, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the short recap. I appreciate you guys listening to my weekly recaps. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Market Omega. I'm on Twitter. I post my ideas on stocks, cryptocurrencies, sports, and just life in general. And you can also subscribe to madassmoney.com. Link is in the description below, and look for me. I'm in there as a mentor / moderator. Look for Market Omega. I post my ideas and my trades in the chat room as well. The link is in the description. Feel free to subscribe to Mad Ass Money, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. That's the only way I can keep posting content and giving you guys these valuable gems about the market. So feel free to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload new content. Okay. Once again, it's Market Omega. Thank you guys for listening in, and have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you guys next week.